Hey guys, how's it going? This is how I look today. uh, I'm having carrots, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, red pepper, pineapple, chickpea rotini, chicken, yeah, just a bunch of stuff. Onion. Really good. How have you guys been, Squash? How have you guys been? Coco's here. Sorry I haven't posted for a while. The end and beginning of months are really hectic. A lot going on. That's fine. It's just, it's like, oh my God. Wow. You know? I hope you guys have been doing good. Massive heat wave going across the entire country. Not here, luckily. Although today we did hit 83. That's nothing compared to the rest of the country at all. So I think I had mentioned this YouTube channel to you guys before, but I couldn't remember the name of it. And my girlfriend found it. Adventures with Purpose. Adventures with Purpose. Those are the guys that are on a dive team. And do recoveries of cars and bodies, you know, family members and stuff like that. That's the name of the, oh my gosh, this little bug. That's the name of this YouTube channel. And they're really, Coco, it's okay. They're really good at what they do. I highly recommend it. So, I don't know, it's scary, because like for me, like underwater is really scary. Most of the show is talking to the family, going over where they thought they were, that kind of stuff. It's not, most of it isn't under the water. Very little of it actually is under the water. Because they're also like taking the boats back and forth, like on a river or lake or whatever. I have seen them find cars in swamps, like just a swamp on the side of the road. Yeah. Or it's like, there's no way the car would be in here, you know? And it was. So yeah, that's the name of that channel. Because I'm really sure I mentioned it. I'm like, dang it. Oh. I don't know how many of you guys, or how closely you guys, or if any of you guys watched the Chris Watts thing unfold. I didn't watch the trial or anything. I don't know if it was on. So I don't know how much you guys know of it, or I'm not going to go over it, but you can look it up. But looks like they're honing in on the girlfriend. Some new evidence has come up. The police, in my opinion, did an absolutely horrible investigation. They basically found out it was him, and then it was like, that was it. Oh, we're done now. And there was so much more going on that they missed. So much more. So the police, apparently, during the time that they were investigating him, didn't even know that he had a WhatsApp and he was communicating with his girlfriend or something. This is all alleged. I have no idea. So they didn't even look into it. Coco, you need to settle down around food. She is so food driven. Oh my God. So yeah, that'll be great because the morning of the incident, his girlfriend's phone pinged right near the house. Mm-hmm. Are you okay? Right around the time he left. Yeah. Uh-huh. Cokie. So I just hope if there is something, it's all alleged, innocent until proven guilty. I hope something does happen then and justice is served if it needs to be, or maybe it already has been. Don't know. Oh. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just like, people are so dense. Yeah. There are so few people that don't get caught. I would like to know the percentage actually. Cause it's like, there's stuff everywhere. There's DNA everywhere. There's cameras everywhere. I mean, everybody has a camera nowadays. You live in a neighborhood, your car's been filmed 37 times driving down the street one way, Dishwasher. But there was this husband and wife, and they had a little girl. And he had like this really good job, like he was an investigator for the IRS. And then she was a nurse. She worked in the medical field or whatever. I think she was a nurse. And so they bought this they had $800,000 in savings. I would not have bought a home with that. I would have literally invested it. But anyway, they bought this home. It was like stupid big. Huge. But they were struggling financially. Duh. Yeah. Buy something way beneath your means. Yeah. Anyway, so he took on like an Uber job. I'm like, you're an IRS investigator? You're taking on an Uber job? Okay. So he was working constantly. She was working. And she's like, I'm going to get a nanny. So she gets this nanny. It's an au pair business that she finds. And so they assign her, a nanny. The nanny comes over. The nanny, it was a live-in nanny. They gave her an allowance. She had full run of the food, pantry, whatever. Yeah. So she was taking care of the little girl. What do you think I'm gonna say happens? Without me even saying it. What do you think happens? So, the husband and the nanny start having an affair. Ha! Didn't see that one coming, did ya? Just kidding. And he was telling the nanny that like his wife had cheated on him a bunch of times, and not that there's an excuse, but he's just a jerk. So they hatched this plan. Actually, it was a really good plan. They just didn't execute it properly. Haha, no pun intended. So, I'm sorry, but if I don't find some humor in this, then it's just too dark. So, so like months before this happens, he sets up an account on his wife's computer for an FETISH website. And he's on there talking like it's her, pretending to be her. And he even had like a couple pictures of her and stuff that he could send. So this was like a couple months prior. And so sure enough, he starts talking to this guy as her. And this was the husband's plan all along. So he's like, well, you should come to my house. And this guy's like, okay, yeah, when? So he sets up this time, and the guy's supposed to be there. So before the guy gets there, the husband is like late to work. Apparently he's never late to work, but this morning he was late to work. But he doesn't go to work. He goes to a nearby McDonald's. Does he order food? Does he eat? No, he sits in the parking lot for 20 minutes. It's like 5 minutes away from the house. The nanny gets the kid in the car. They're going to go to the zoo. Oh, she forgot the lunches. She's got to go back to the house. these people. So she goes back, and there's a car in the driveway. The wife was home, by the way. And I saw something. So she calls the husband, and the husband comes rushing over to the house from the McDonald's. And they get all freaked out. So they go in through the basement. And they can hear talking. And so he's like, stay here, to the nanny. And she's like, okay. But she knew it was going to happen. She already knew the plan. So he goes upstairs. And according to him, he sees this guy standing over his wife who's in bed asleep. Coco, stop. God, you freak me out so bad. Stop. Oh. You know, and he comes in and he sees that, and oh my gosh, so he pulls out his, and to the guy, but for some reason and the nanny was like, oh my gosh, so she runs upstairs because she heard that. And for some reason the guy's like, go to the safe and get the other. I don't know why. So she does, and he tells her, make sure it's like, you know, he's gone. So she does. And when, so he calls 911. So he's no longer alive. The wife is, but barely. And so they call 911. 911 comes. I bet he was just freaking out. Well, why would he be? Because, so the wife, the guy broke him and was doing that to her. So yeah, she wouldn't implicate her husband. I just thought of that. So unfortunately, she passes away. On the way to the hospital, at the hospital. Now it goes to body cam. And the police are questioning the nanny. She can't get 2 words out to save her life. I was like, ugh, can you? It was just so gross, horrible, just. So, at first glance, the police were like, there was no, like, because they left the door unlocked. So they're like, well, there was no forced entry. He must have been let in. Or somebody left the door unlocked. And they're, oh, no, we didn't leave the door unlocked. No. So the cops were like, dang, well, guess this guy came in and just did that to your wife. Now this guy, his uncle is like mega powerful attorney. So of course he didn't talk. And no, wait, that was our case. Never mind. I'm getting them confused. They found out that he had gone to the McDonald's and was just sitting there, but, you know, his cell phone. And it was like, what were you waiting for? Like, why were you were already late to work, and then you're not getting any, like, what are you doing? And then it was weird also that she came back home. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't jiving. And then they found that site or whatever on her computer. And sure enough, it was the guy that was no longer with us. Oh, what? Mm. So they're like, oh my gosh, maybe she did, don't know. They finally figured it out. Basically this guy shows up, doesn't know where the hell he is. He obviously wasn't doing anything to the wife. Maybe he was in the bedroom. Okay. Nothing was happening. And supposedly the wife was asleep. Well, when the guy, she woke up, and the husband to the wife, while Missy Ma'am is getting the other pew-pew to finish this guy off. And I know that this guy was like, if I'm going down, she's going down. So like, And then they transferred some of the over to the guy who was pew-pewed to make it look like, oh yeah, no, he definitely did this, So crazy. You're gonna get caught. People are gonna get caught, I have never been like that mad. I have never been like, my husband and I talk about this all the time. We talk about this all the time. It's like, why don't people just get a divorce? Why don't people just say, I can't do this anymore. I at least need a separation. I'm going to go live, I don't know, somewhere else for the next month and just try it out and I need a break, or whatever. Or if you're already convinced that you can't even do that, then get a divorce. Like, file for a divorce and get a divorce. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but divorces are messy. Who gets the house? The kids. Is it worth, you have this over here, or you've got, you're dealing with paperwork and courts and stuff like that. That's a lot better than this solution over. And of course, he's in prison and she's in prison for the rest of her life now. And that child doesn't have any parents. Which is my husband and I all the time when I tell him these stories. He's just like, why? Like, why? I'm like, babe, I don't know. I don't know. Are people not mature, or are they? I don't. Do they not? Okay, so the guy was having an affair with the nanny. Is that the worst thing in the world? If I was the wife, I would be absolutely devastated, angry, hurt, betrayed. I would have all of those feelings. But is that the worst thing in the world? Like, you're gonna do that to somebody over that? Dude, like, so many guys go out and do that. So many women go out and do that. It's like, I just don't understand. I think I might have said this on this channel before, but I've definitely said it before. Watching a lot of these stories and listening to a lot of these is, we will never know the why. And the reason why we will never know the why is because we would never commit such acts. But having said that, if you listen to Serial, who are on Roe, they also will tell you that they don't know why they did it. Now, I think they're just lying. I think that's just they just don't want to say, because they do know why. But I mean, people like you and I, we're not going to know why. Why would we know why? We're not going to go do something like that, you know, and if we knew the why, I mean, I don't know. We can say, oh, well, he did this because, okay, that's the evidence. But then you always say, but why? Right? But why? The why is never coming. The why is never there. They're not going to tell anybody. We're not going to know because our mindset's not like that. So interesting. Anyway, it was nice to be back with you guys. Thanks for being here and eating with me. Sorry I haven't been around. Yeah. But I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.